Okay, so the first thing you need is chocolate. You have to melt it. It is non-tempering white chocolate and brown chocolate. The second thing you need is plastic. Now this is that same kind of plastic that you will find on the outside of your school books. So what do? We just roll it out. And we have got to now measure around the cake. Now you might think it's easy to measure around the cake, but it isn't. It's best just to get a cake tin and go around it and cut off when you need it. So I'm going to guesstimate. Everything's getting in my way, so I'm getting over it. Okay, so I'm going to guesstimate again. You can sit measure all you want, but I just eyeball it. Okay. You do need it to overlap slightly. Overlapping. You can use parchment paper as well. In fact, I should have just used parchment paper because that stuff is easier to find than a nice smooth plastic. So you just go ahead and you take some sellotape. And you sellotape it to your table. Of course, my table is a granite table, so it's easier. And I'm not planning on making it as high as I cut this chocolate right now. What I'm planning on doing with this is just straightening out the chocolate. The plastic. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can see. So, straighten out your plastic. Also got air conditioning blowing and plastic keeps unstraightening. Anyway, straighten it out as best you can. Okay, so I'm going to do that. And now I'm feeling like I just want to take a little stick like this and I just want to measure how tall my cake is roughly. And then I want to leave a little line like that. So already I can see this is too tall. So I'm going to cut a rough line out of the plastic. Just eyeballing it again. Doesn't matter if it's not straight. You can straighten it with a knife if it's really that important to you. So I would say that's quite cool as it is now. Can even go shorter. Now I always get it to a point where I'm happy and then it just gets messed up. Alright, so goodbye plastic. So now you take our white chocolate which we've melted in a very melty, sticky bowl. You pour it over your chocolate. I don't know how much this is. 2 cups. I just eyeball everything. What do you want from me? So this corner is annoying, but anyway. Then you take an offset spatula and you pretend like you are spreading butter over toast. And you just keep going. There where there's no chocolate, you just keep going. Keep going, keep going. Oh, you need a little bit more? I love doing this in winter because it works so well, but it's summer now. And everything sort of... So, at a certain point, we need a wet cloth. At a certain point in time, you need to stop spreading, because then you're just going to spread it thinner and thinner and thinner. And you just need to let it stand for 2 seconds. Or whatever, 5 seconds, few seconds more. And you'll see that it forms this sort of a crust. It stops shining. The second that happens, start buttering it again. Because what you're doing is you're making it tempered. And you are cooling down the temperature of the chocolate. By the way, chocolate's never allowed to be hot. It's only allowed to be warm. A few seconds more and this is ready. I'm just going to get a sharp knife. And I got one. Okay. Sharp knife cuts through plastic really easily. So, there where we've sellotaped it, we're getting rid of it. Same on the other side. We're getting rid of that. We don't want it anywhere near our cake. I'm going to just touch up where I see there's a little bit of a hole. And now it literally is like butter. It actually is spreading like butter. Okay, so now I've messed it up. So you will notice that it is set. You just need to get the knife underneath the plastic. And you have to do this within a space of a few seconds because your chocolate is busy cooling down right now. Right. So we wrap it around the cake. And then we take a little bit of sellotape. And we go here in the back. There we go. So now, to be quite honest, I feel like it's too high. So I'm just going to go around with a scissor and I'm going to remove the excess chocolate because we don't need such a high wall. We're not Donald Trump. Okay. So, straighten it out where you need to straighten it out. Actually, there's a little bit of a gap, so I'm going to use that to patch. Okay, take this to the fridge and let it sit for a few minutes. It doesn't hurt to straighten it out there where you see that it's a bit bumpy, you know. It really doesn't hurt. Okay, you take it to the fridge and you let it chill. Okay, once it's chilling in the fridge, I'd like to make some chocolate curls for, you know, the inside. There's still a little lip. I'd like to fill it up, you know. So you do the same thing, but you need a granite surface. You know what? You can even do this on a metal table as long as it's clean. Granite has this temperature and marble has this temperature that just works well with chocolate. So what are we doing? We are buttering the surface. We are tempering this chocolate. We're cooling it down, in other words. Because we want to make some chocolate curls. Or chocolate flakes, or whatever we want to call them. So I keep going. Can't tell you how many times I've done this in my life. But we keep going. and you'll notice it starts to lose its shine, and it starts to become very matte in color, and it starts becoming firmer. And you have to time it perfectly, otherwise you're just going to have solid chocolate stuck to your surface. Okay, I don't know if you can see clearly. This middle part here is not ready yet. Offset spatula, very important. Back and forward, back and forward, back and forward. Constant, repetitive, maddening behavior. Okay. You need a scraper, and you just start scraping. Look at that. That's what we're looking for. You're just scraping and making these gorgeous little flakes. Where are you going to put it? On your granite surface, of course, because it is so fragile at the moment that it can break, you know? I think the best thing to do is to just show you what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. And I've left them all in a row so that they can start to cool down. If I move them now, they're going to start melting together like a little ball. Okay, so what I've done is I've gone to the fridge and I've gone to get the sellotape. Now I am removing that little piece. I've gone to get the cake. I'm removing the sellotape because who wants that? And I'm removing the plastic. Ta-da. Okay. These are now soft enough to pick up, and I just sort of turn them into a filling agent. Place them inside the cake, and I'm filling the cake up with chocolate flakes. I'll probably make some more. It's one of those things that you just gotta enjoy in life, and that's your ability to mold chocolate. Of course, you can do it on any surface, but like I'm saying, I prefer marble. It's how I learned. Okay, so it's full of chocolate at the top. Now I'd like to make the drip, and you can see as you go along you keep scraping your chocolate, and it creates a sort of black forest effect. Okay, so you keep going. You need a plastic piping bag for the next part. Place your chocolate into the piping bag. This is how I used to make all my chocolate cakes before drip cakes became something else. I would wrap my cakes with solid chocolate like this, but now I'd say I'm one of the only people still doing this. But anyway, I love it. You very gently squeeze the chocolate out and you just let it drip. It's not rocket science. You can start from there. This is one of my favorite cake designs in the world. It's one of the first cakes I did. I thought I was so cool back then. It's a very thin layer of chocolate, by the way. Did I mention that? It's so easy. You can cut straight through it with a knife. And I prefer these because they look so yummy. There's a little join where I've overestimated how much chocolate I would need. I'm just filling it with a drip because I'm trying to not stress myself out. We're whenever you think it needs chocolate, add. So the remainder of the chocolate is going back on my table. And I just need to make a few more chocolate curls because I can, obviously as I'm looking into the cake, I can still see some white patches where I'd like to patch them up and things like that. You do need an air conditioner in order to do this because right now it's boiling hot and you have to refrigerate your cake no matter what, but don't put it in the freezer because the chocolate will crack. So now we've reached that stage that I love, and we're simply filling up. I mean, look at that chocolate, it's so yummy. It feels like butter at this point, if I can explain it to you like that. It feels like you are busy handling a very thin shaved piece of butter. And of course, it's on a day where I've ran out of chocolate, but anyway, now I'm going to do the rest of this. Sometimes you'll have like a build-up on your palette knife, just scrape it off. And there we go, it's very beautiful, very tasty. You just cut straight through this chocolate. The fresh cream underneath it, you can use buttercream, you don't have to use fresh cream. This is a chocolate mousse cake. I love these type of cakes. Doesn't matter how ugly your cake looks underneath, you can always cover it in chocolate. At a wedding once, I arrived there, and as soon as I put the cake down, a huge crack appeared, and a triangular section just fell off, and I didn't know what to do. And then I was like, yes, you do. So I took that triangular section very carefully, and I took a lighter, and I just held the flame up to it, and I stuck it back into place. And it was as if nothing ever happened. Actually, I didn't even have a lighter. I walked back and forth saying, does anybody have a lighter? And they were like, oh yes, do you have cigarettes? And I was like, no, I need a lighter only. So yes. So this is one of those extremely, extremely tasty looking cakes. And there we go. So now, what I'm going to do is get my buttercream. So the bottom of this cake is going to be just piped with a little bit of buttercream, just to hold it into place. As people are driving, we don't want chocolate to crack. So let me start from Okay, so of course it's not a complete design. Okay, so I'm just going to put these lollipops as decorations. just at the top of the cake. Like that. And we're going to do some macaroons. Oh, well, they're actually meringue macaroons. They're not full macaroons. I'm just heating up the chocolate, placing a macaroon. Heating up the chocolate, placing a macaroon. Because it will melt in places and then you just stick it down. Simple as that. Very cute. Now let me just show you guys. So there's the finished product. I hope you guys enjoyed this.